is Wednesday, 25th October. Good morning. This is THG News Today with Mervyn Henley. Of course, you know it. The news is brought to you the kind of compliments of Carl & Sons on St. Maarten. We will be right back. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Maarten for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Colbay and on the Punfill. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Punfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. We begin this morning with news out of Antigua. Kelvin Shuggy Simon of the United Progressive Party has won the by-election in St. Mary's South. The final voter count just after 11 o'clock last night, Kelvin Shuggy Simon, 1,060 votes. Dwayne George of the Antigua Barbuda Labour Party, 891 votes. So that's winning the seat by 169 votes. In January of this year, Kelvin Shuggy Simon won that seat by 199 votes. It appears the strategy of Kelvin Shuggy Simon paid off. The by-election was triggered when Simon resigned from Parliament over claims that his nomination in December 2022 was illegal since he was still a public servant. Instead of allowing the court to decide, Honorable Simon decided to resign, thus causing last night's election. This means that the Gaston Brown administration will continue to hold on to a one-seat majority. And we now look at news from the British Virgin Islands. Local attorney Daniel Davis has contended that there are currently more prisoners on remand at His Majesty's prison at Balsum Ghut than persons who have actually been convicted of criminal offences. Davies suggested that this was caused by a lack of criminal court judges and by the resulting extensive backlog of the criminal matters on the court's docket. Right now, we have huge court lists when it comes to the criminal court, at least in the High Court. We don't have enough judges to deal with the situation, Davis said. He added one of the other issues that you've got is that the backlog is such that you have more people on remand than you have convicted. In a building that was built for 60 persons, you have 83 persons on remand. According to Davis, 27 of those persons are either awaiting trial or are in trial, while the remaining 50 odd are awaiting their day in court. Davis said there were just about 50 convicted inmates at the prison, and this meant there were fewer convicts than those that were actually on remand. The attorney described the situation as an unfortunate statistic and suggested that the BVI reflect on the current court system and make some changes to help reduce the backlog of court cases at the High Court. And now finally news from St. Maarten from the Daily Herald. Prime Minister the Honourable Silvera Jacobs is preparing to go to court to enforce rectification and an apology from businessman Olivia Arundel, who has repeatedly accused her of being corrupt. The petition for summary proceedings, filed with the Court of First Instance on October 18th, scrutinizes 29 videos made by Arundel. Jacobs fears that Arundel intends to influence the outcome of the upcoming general elections with his multimedia attack on the governing authority, as can be deduced from the introduction to the petition. It starts as follows. For several weeks now, Arundel has been circulating almost daily videos, audio recordings and WhatsApp messages in which he makes all kinds of statements about local government officials, parliamentarians, other politicians, and third parties, and it has been the talk of the town. the start of the distribution of the image and sound material, said attorney Melinda Hoover, on behalf of Prime Minister Jacobs, comes shortly after the Prime Minister's announcement on August 30th, 2023, that the general elections will take place on January 11th, 2024. The fact that Arundel repeatedly insinuated that he will endorse an election candidate or appear in the list of a political party himself means, according to the plaintiff, that this provides Arundel's probable motive for his accusations. Arundel is reported to have a number of group chats with several hundred people per chat, in which he shares videos, audio recordings, and messages. This material is then forwarded to third parties by Arundel himself or other group members, and then spreads like wildfire, attorney Hoover pointed out. The petition further focuses on the nature of those statements that are offensive and unnecessarily offensive to Jacobs, her partner, and other family members. According to Jacobs' lawyer, her right to honor and a good name has been violated. To illustrate this claim, a video from September 12, 2023 is cited in which Arundel said, "This is the plan that I have. This is why we are exposing the corruption that is going on. Because when you have Ardwell, when you have Duran, when you have Rolanda Bryson, and the Prime Minister, all of them in one collusion together as a group of gangs, that is basically giving this country out to the Italians and all the highest gangsters and mafias that is walking around in this place, then the people of St. Maarten can't get nothing." In another video, Arundel outright called the Prime Minister a corrupt woman, saying, "Let me show you how corrupt this woman is." Arundel addressed the neighborhood where the Prime Minister lives. "You all people in Dutch Quarter, either you're all blind or can't see. The Dutch Quarter people them. Silvera Jacobs don't care about you, all up in Dutch Quarter, because she's busy building that big house behind Amelia Wilson Park. Yeah, she built a house up there." Arundel's accusations are not only unnecessarily offensive, exaggerated, and downright tasteless, these statements do not contribute in any way to the general interest and the public debate on policy topics, the attorney concluded. A date for the summary proceedings has not yet been published. Wow. Well, I have seen some of these videos. I have read the WhatsApp messages, and I do find them, if you ask my personal opinion, they're very tasteless and they're very disrespectful. But what surprises me the most out of all of this, with these unfair and nasty attacks on the Prime Minister, is that there are other parliamentarians, the Prime Minister's colleagues, who may not be on the same coalition ticket with her in government, but they are females in parliament, and they are females in society who lead organizations, but I have not heard them one time on record, are there statements out there or press releases, then I would love to see them. But I have not heard one time that these female parliamentarians, some of them, and those who lead organizations all across St. Maarten, I have not heard one statement coming out to condemn the nasty attacks on their colleague, on this woman, even if you do not agree with her politics. But I have not heard or seen a release where these people who are running for office, and even the female politicians who are running for office, I have not heard them come out to condemn these remarks. So this tells me, because an election is right around the corner, you're very happy in what has been said about Prime Minister Jacobs. It tells me that you so want to get into office and want to get into power, that you don't care. But guess what? Today for Silvera Jacobs, and tomorrow will be for you. But on another topic regarding Silvera Jacobs, and this is not an endorsement of her, but what I will say about her is that you must admire the strength of this woman. Yes, she's getting all these attacks from Arundel and whomever, but you must admire the strength and the tenacity and the perseverance of this woman, a strong leader who has led St. Maarten through the worst pandemic ever in history, COVID. There were no handbooks, no playbook for COVID, and she has led St. Maarten through many storms. She is the only leader, the only Prime Minister in the Caribbean I have heard who would update the people of her country hour after hour, keeping them abreast of what's going on, the latest development, the press releases, being that leader, showing that she's taking command of her island and showing that no matter what they say or do, she's pushing forward. And that's a leader. That's a very strong leader that St. Maarten ought to be proud of. Prime Minister Silvera Jacobs. That's the end of our news for this morning and a bit of commentary. I didn't mean to, but sometimes this happens. Do join me again tomorrow morning for a similar presentation right here at THG Network. I am your host, Mervyn Henley. Have a good day.